Cowboys looked like they were going to step on a rake yesterday. And, Myles, I had an idea last week as it relates to the Texans, and I should have gone with it at least for the cover, because the Texans go to AT&T Stadium once every 8 years. And I think sometimes for teams that don't go there very often, it's a big deal when you go there. And what else do the Texans have to play for? They're 1-10-1. They got nothing. They go across the state, and they have a chance to have bragging rights until the next time they play the Cowboys. 4 years, technically there's a chance they could play sooner than that because of the 17th game. But, hey, they gave them everything they could handle. At the end of the day, they blew it. At the end of the day, the Cowboys won the game. Dak Prescott afterwards saying, hey, this is the kind of game that serves us well in the postseason, and he's right. Because if you're a team that just wins easily, you get yourself in a tough game, you don't know what to do. They got themselves in a tough game yesterday. They had to drive down the field and win the game, and they did. So that's a positive. They found a way to turn what should have been a loss into a late win, and maybe that'll help them in a tough playoff game against somebody in the NFC. But, it wasn't nearly as impressive a day as we thought it was going to be from the Cowboys, but at the end of the day, they got the win, and that's all that matters.
It is, and that's sometimes what can happen against uncommon opponents. I mean, they just don't know the Texans very well. They don't see them very often, and so even though the Texans are not very good, and they were for some reason playing a 2-quarterback system, because I guess if you suck that much, then why not? Driscoll on 4th and goal, where the Texans didn't get it, and then eventually the Cowboys are now able to go down the field as they did. I mean, Driscoll had absolutely no shot. It was like he was going left and the rest of the play was going right. And so, I mean, when that happens, you don't have any chance at scoring. So, I mean, they're a bad team, the Texans are, and the Cowboys are a very good team, and good teams, and the great teams especially, find ways to win even when they're not having their best day. And that's what the Cowboys were able to do.
Ezekiel Elliott had 62 rushing yards and a touchdown. He resisted the temptation to jump back into the Salvation Army kettle. He got fined for it. Yeah. That thing's an attractive nuisance. I mean, if they're going to fine guys for that, get that thing off the field. Put it in a spot where you can't even get to it. I think that's so stupid that they fine guys for that. They put the damn thing on the field. Anyway, there's some highlights of your bad Texans quarterbacks. What's the saying? If you have one bad quarterback, you have one bad quarterback. If you have two bad quarterbacks, you have a major problem, and that's where the Texans are, and who knows what's going to happen with them. There's been chatter about Nick Caserio possibly being out, Lovie Smith one and done. I just think Cal McNair needs to sell the team. I'm sorry. Sorry, Cal, but what have you done since you've inherited the team to prove that you know what you're doing as an owner of the team? And it's okay to admit it. Cash out. Take $8 billion. Jeff Bezos grew up in Houston. Take his $8 billion before he can give his $8 billion to Dan Snyder and cash out and just enjoy your life, not being the guy that's the pincushion for all the Houston fans that are pissed off because your football team stinks. Am I wrong?
I don't really have much more to add to that. No, I think you kind of said it all there. $8 billion though? You think $8 billion could fetch? Like that's what Washington could fetch?
Well, seven. I don't know. If you act like you don't want to sell, maybe you can squeeze another $1 billion out. None of it matters. None of it matters because you know what? Jeff Bezos pays $8 billion for it and holds it for 5 years. It's going to be worth $12 billion. It doesn't matter. And the guy's worth $120 billion. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.